in Hanoi or Stockholm, enterprises are promoting new initiatives and technologies for sustainable development, and Vietnam and Sweden are sharing great opportunities for cooperation on sustainability. This is the opinion voiced at the Vietnam-Sweden Business Summit held in Hanoi this week. The summit is one of the most important events to highlight the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Sweden. On this occasion, our edition of Bizline will delve into the values of sustainable development that many Swedish companies have brought during their long-term operation in Vietnam.
Leaders from over 50 countries and Swedish financial institutions were present at the Vietnam-Sweden Business Summit held on May 7th in Hanoi to discuss solutions for sustainable development. Sectors connected to sustainability such as energy, waste management, innovative healthcare and education are what the Swedish companies specialize in.
We see Vietnam continuing to grow, but that means it's more electricity. It needs more electricity. And the best way to get that is to not build new coal-fired plants, but to use the great renewable energy resources. That could be solar, but we also have technology for wind. And there, ABB will help take the power that's produced from the solar panels, transform it so that it's reliable, power that can be integrated into the national grid.
In the past 25 years, ABB's electrical equipment has been used to increase the energy efficiency of many big projects in Vietnam. The solar panel system in Bắc Ninh province is the most recent one. The stories of Swedish companies in Vietnam have been observed by experts and believed to be suitable for the current phase of Vietnam's development.
The relationship with Sweden and Vietnam will probably just be about the energy sector and going to be prolonged with innovation from Sweden, with capital from outside to Vietnam. And since Vietnam needs a lot of new innovation here because you're growing so fast, and demand for new innovation in energy questions requires that you have the capital here, but also a culture like Sweden when it comes to the environment.
According to Vietnam's General Customs Department, bilateral trade turnover between Vietnam and Sweden reached $1.5 billion in 2018, a 15% rise from the previous year. The number is most precious as it brings sustainable values to Vietnam.
Cái đầu tư của Thụy Điển cũng như thương mại của Thụy Điển đối với Việt Nam không chỉ đánh giá ở cái số lượng mà còn phải đánh giá ở cái khía cạnh về chất lượng. Trong cái giai đoạn tới khi mà chúng ta đang tiếp tục thúc đẩy cái mở cửa hội nhập và đặc biệt là chúng ta đang chuyển dịch cái dòng vốn đầu tư sang lựa chọn một cái dòng vốn đầu tư có cái chất lượng cao hơn, thì cái đầu tư của Thụy Điển là cái nền dòng đầu tư theo hướng phát triển bền vững với công nghệ cao, thân thiện với môi trường thì sẽ là một cái sự lựa chọn phù hợp.
When Vietnam is starting to ask for sustainable solutions that actually Sweden can supply Vietnam with in areas such as advanced manufacturing, robotics, automation, AI and further digitalization, or different type of communication, 5G solutions, for example, and also infrastructure solutions for smart energy and green energy, sustainable solutions for smart cities. We are used to deliver that.
At the Vietnam Business Summit that was held in January, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc stressed that rapid and sustainable are the keywords of Vietnam's development and are part of the strategies of the Vietnamese government. This is the base of Vietnam's cooperation with Sweden, one of the best countries when it comes to sustainable development.
Our reporter had a talk with Mr. Jeff Philcow, Managing Director of Tetra Pak Vietnam, to have a deeper insight into sustainable development and what it means for the cooperation between Vietnam and Sweden.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff, for joining our interview today.
My pleasure.
So as we are here for the Vietnam-Sweden Business Summit, can you share your observations of the stories of Swedish companies in Vietnam in the past decades?
It all goes back to 50 years ago when Sweden and Vietnam on a government level formed a really great partnership of collaboration. Since then, many Swedish companies have entered business in Vietnam solving problems. And I'll give you an example. So for example, Tetra Pak has been in Vietnam since 1994. And what problems did we solve for the Vietnamese society? Two primary problems in the very beginning. One was on food safety and food availability. I'm going to give you an example. Through the innovation of Tetra Pak, we were able to allow dairy milk products to be produced and consumed by Vietnamese consumers without needing items like refrigeration because of the technology we have. I mean, you can certainly find many good examples. Certainly Ericsson has played a really important role in communications. ABB has played a very important role on productivity and innovation when it comes to automation. But you can certainly find many examples of how Swedish companies have really changed the lives for Vietnamese businesses and consumers for the better. And in return, the Vietnamese consumers and society have made our companies better as well.
And why is Vietnam an attractive market for Swedish companies?
When you look at Vietnam, what makes the market so attractive? Firstly, if its population, it's the third largest population with nearly 100 million people, so the third largest in Asia. So that makes it attractive. The average age of being 37, so it's a young and vibrant society that is very skilled, with a very skilled workforce. From a company perspective, those all are very attractive. Then when you layer on a very innovative government who drives business, who really is driving business collaboration, it makes it for a friendly place to do business. Coupled with all of the trade agreements that have been formed over the past several years, it makes doing business in Vietnam very attractive. Yeah.
Swedish companies have a focus on sustainable production and innovation. So can you explain more about these terms?
Most people think about sustainability, they think about the environment, and absolutely that is part of a key driver in sustainability. So it's all about doing more productivity with less resources. And then the resources you use, making sure that those resources are sustainable for the long run, meaning they're renewable resources that can be replenished time after time. Sustainability is in the DNA of many Swedish companies, and it's really the foundation for Tetra Pak. So our founder had a famous saying, and it was, "A packaging should save more than it costs." To give an example, when you talk about what defines sustainability, what makes a package sustainable? So first, what is the package made from? In the case of Tetra Pak, our packages are made 75% from paperboard. And paper is a renewable resource, so it will continuously regenerate for generations to come. So unlike a fossil fuel that once it's used, it's depleted for its period of time, a renewable material like paper is sustainable for the long run. The second important factor when it comes into making a decision for sustainability is how efficient can your package be manufactured? And when I say efficient, how much greenhouse gas, how much energy, how much water is needed to make the product?
Tetra Pak is a Swedish company and also one of the leading food packaging and processing corporations with sustainability as its core value. Over 8 billion packages provided by Tetra Pak in Vietnam in 2017 are made from paper collected from newly grown and sustainable forests, certified by Forest Stewardship Council.
Tetra Pak packages are made mainly from paperboard, which is a renewable material. We are also using bio-based plastics, which means instead of plastics coming from oil, we use a renewable source like sugarcane. And our ambition long term is that all our packaging will be made from only renewable materials.
The company also introduced the e-beam technology for sterilizing packages with electronic beams. This helps food producers save 50% of energy during production. This tech is as effective as urine hydroperoxide, but is guaranteed to be more environment friendly. Tetra Pak is also working with ABB to develop an energy assessment program in order to reduce energy used in production and production costs.
Protecting futures is all about our promise to use resources efficiently, to use them in a way that they are properly managed, that we use renewable energy, that we reduce our carbon footprint, and we work with recycling at end of life.
In the past 25 years of operation in Vietnam, ABB has been one of the most notable Swedish enterprises, with projects on effective energy use. ABB Vietnam's electrical equipment has been used in automation at Núi Pháo Mine in Thái Nguyên Province, the robotic packaging line of Vinasoy factory, energy-saving solution at Karlsson Mine in Quảng Ninh Province, power management in the central cities of Da Nang, Huế, Quy Nhơn, and power saving at the National Assembly building lighting system. The digitalization of freshwater distribution system in Ho Chi Minh City.
So whether that is delivering smart cities, intelligent factories, smart grids, renewable energy solutions, or indeed electric vehicles, we will see many exciting technologies come to Vietnam. We will be focusing on our key customers in utilities, in industry, in infrastructure and transport, and working with them to deliver the exciting, smart and sustainable future for Vietnam.
So what solutions does Tetra Pak have to minimize that energy needed?
We've made a commitment to 100% renewable electricity by the year 2030. That's one example of how we can make a positive contribution. Another for our customers is we continuously innovate and develop machinery, food processing equipment, and filling equipment that uses less energy by running faster, uses less energy by being more efficient, and actually uses less water by switching to other entities like what we call as an e-beam. So essentially finding a way to eliminate the use of electricity and water for our customers with advancements in technology. These are just some examples of how we're leading the way for a more sustainable future. Not only for us, but we're helping our customers solve their problems too. We don't view ourselves as a supplier to a company. We don't view ourselves as somebody who sells packaging material only. We don't view ourselves as somebody who just sells equipment. We are partners with our customers. In Vietnam, we are their partner and they are our partner. And we have countless examples of how together, between Tetra Pak and our customers, we have collaborated to make very meaningful difference for the society on food safety, on nutrition, on sustainability, on recycling, on innovation, you name it. We have many good examples of partnerships with our partners here, who we call our customers, but they're really our partners in Vietnam.
Investment in social programs is one of the ways for Swedish companies to promote their sustainable values in Vietnam. At the end of 2018, Tetra Pak initiated the program 1 Second of Action to Protect the Environment. Accordingly, students were instructed on what to do with empty milk packages, including folding the package and putting it to the recycle bin. Furthermore, students were encouraged to save electricity and water in daily use and reduce the use of nylon bags. After more than a month, the program achieved spectacular results, with over 206,000 seconds of action in over 4,000 videos submitted by students. Thanks to the project, the Park presented 20,000 packages of milk to poor children at Bến Tre SOS Children Village.
Protecting food is our promise to always deliver safe.
Khui nắp backside, sân quà Đà Lạt.
To always deliver safe food. And for instance, Tetra Pak helps providing food to school children all over the world.
AstraZeneca, a leading corporation on medicines based on inventions, has 25 years of experience in Vietnam. The company collaborated with the Vietnamese Ministry of Health to launch a program for a healthy lung in 2017. The program included a $1 million investment to raise the quality of services for outpatients who have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease in Vietnam.
We have rolled out several sustainability programs like Healthy Lung to make sure people can have a better lung disease education. We have rolled out programs like Young Health Program with Plan International to make sure younger generation and the youth can be educated on disease prevention and avoid non-communicable diseases.
Recently, AstraZeneca also invested $20 million into the pilot experimental treatment for cancer in Vietnam for the 2017-2019 period. The program is meaningful as the number of new cancer cases in Vietnam rises continuously, and the fatality rate is 56 out of 185 countries and territories, which is considered a high rate.
Do you have any proposals for the Vietnamese government and Vietnamese companies to better attract foreign companies that measure in sustainable production and innovation?
In Vietnam, Tetra Pak has been working on activities for recycling for the past 12 years. And that is awareness programs, it's school milk recycling programs, it's working with recyclers to help make investments if need be, to help educate how we can make the most optimal way to collect, recover cartons. But more needs to be done. One company cannot solve this alone. Ideally, it's best done by the industry, and most ideally, it's done with collaboration between the public sector and private sector. And in Vietnam, with some of the very large, fast-growing cities, it is actually a challenge because the cities may have grown a little bit faster than the infrastructure will allow it to handle. So this will require, for the next decade, strong partnerships between the public sector and the private sector. And Tetra Pak is absolutely willing to be a leader and a strong partner along the way. So I don't think it's a lack of willingness at all. I think what we need as an industry and as a society is better collaboration, to a better platform to enable all to participate and to contribute. But simple things can happen. For example, if every company has a simple policy that they have a segregation program between waste and recycling, and they force the recycling to occur inside their office, and they educate their staff to do it at home, and then they take outreach programs and drive it to their local communities. It has to start with somebody leading the way, and the best way to do it is start with the companies who have high influence and who have high following, and this is the way that we'll make change happen together.
Thank you again for joining our program.
And thank you for having me on the show. It's been a pure pleasure.
Sweden was the first Western country to recognize and establish diplomatic ties with Vietnam 50 years ago. The country has always been a trusted and committed partner of Vietnam since the beginning, through the renovation period and now when sustainable development is most needed. Crown Princess of Sweden also affirmed that economic development is creating challenges such as pollution and pressure on infrastructure, but also paves the way for new sources of energy and drivers for sustainable society. Swedish companies who regard sustainability as their backbone will continue to share experience and expertise with Vietnamese partners in the coming time. And that also wraps up this edition of Bizline. In the meantime, you can log on to our official website at vtv4.vtv.vn or simply download our app VTV Go and search for VTV4. Goodbye for now and thanks for stopping by.